What's up YouTube, peeves here. This is going to be a really different video than what I usually do, because in this video I'm actually going to show you guys how to go about cleaning a fan. Okay? One of my biggest pet peeves, it seems, is when I see a dirty fan, like this one. Okay? I don't know why, when people notice that their fans are getting dirty, that they don't just take the time to go ahead and clean it. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Maybe some people just don't know that you can do that. Maybe people just are lazy about it or something, but it's really a good idea to just do it. You know, if you notice that your fan's starting to get a little dusty, just go ahead and start cleaning it. Or just go ahead and clean it because, you know, it's disgusting. It looks bad, and obviously if you put it off for like several years, as some people do, when it finally comes to time to kind of have to clean it because it just looks horrible and it's unsightly, you know, then you really wish you had done it earlier, because it really is no fun to clean like a super dirty fan. Now this fan right here, as you can see, is a well, maybe you can see that it's a Feature Comforts brand fan. It is about 2 years old. At least we got it 2 years ago, and it is just now starting to show signs of needing to be cleaned. You can probably see that from where the camera's sitting right now. That, let me see, yeah, you can kind of see little bits of dirt on there, but if I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys a little up close here, and you can really see how dirty it is. So you can also tell how bad my tripod is and how badly it needs to be replaced. Yeah, so it's disgusting, frankly. So as you can see, yeah. Now, where it's really dirty on is on the actual blades, on the actual very edge, as you can see. If I just go and turn those a little bit, we can get. I didn't mean to do it that fast. I was just trying to see if I could get a better example for you guys, but button actually went all the way in. Yeah, you can just see how dirty it is on there. It's all caked up and such on the edge, and it's really dirty on the back. So let's just go ahead and clean this, because why not? Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started with this here. So what I'm going to do first is unplug the fan. Alright. And untangle its cables. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this fan outside. So that way, when we're dusting it, it doesn't get everywhere. It just goes outside. Okay, so here we are, outside. So now, the obvious next step is to take the fan apart. So, let's do that. Now, most newer fans are going to be completely toolless to take apart, at least the cage assembly. But if you have maybe an older fan or something, you might need a screwdriver. But this fan right here is pretty general. It's got a pretty standard configuration in terms of how fans in terms of how fans are put together. So the first thing you got to do, at least on this fan, you got to get the front cage off. It's held on with these little tabs here, these little clips. So let's undo those. Wow, there it is. That's never happened to me before. But anyway, there's the front cage, and already, because it fell off, check this out. Yep, all that dust was not there before. now in order to remove the blades, you gotta unscrew this. Now this nut here is a little weird. It's actually a reverse nut. So, meaning in order to tighten it, you turn it counterclockwise, but in order to loosen it, you gotta turn it clockwise. Like that. So there's that. The car coming. Anyway, there's your little thing. The blades. Let's come out. Like that. It's pretty dirty. Alright guys, I apologize about the noise, but there's a truck or something. So a lot of noise right now. Anyway, after you got the blades removed, this nut here unscrews, and it's a normal nut. It screws turning counterclockwise like this. You can see. Alright, and then the back cage comes off like that. This thing is nasty. So, after that, you've got this motor here. If you want to, you could further disassemble this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to look in there, see if it needs any dusting. No. Now if you want to, you can take this apart to lubricate it, if you want. I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. But I probably could use a wall. It feels pretty smooth. Take the load off of it. I think it's fine personally, but you never know. Anywho, let's give it a quick dusting, I guess. Preferably from the back. Wow, that's pretty dusty. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean up everything else. So here I have all the parts. Let's just go ahead and set this in the grass. Alright. Now, as you can see, pretty dusty. So I'm going to try compressed air first. Let's see. Now, I mean, you can use compressed air for this, but I'm worried about two things. One, I'm worried about running out of it because I do have other stuff I want to use this on. But two, if you use this for too long, I believe that's like maybe liquid hydrogen or something in there. It actually starts to boil, and it can sometimes spew out of the nozzle if you use it too long. So I don't want to use this, really. But if you have to, it'll get the job done. But if you listen to it, you can kind of hear it boiling in there, fizzing, and it gets really cold. I think I'm just going to use power of H2O. So, alright, sorry guys. Just wasting a lot of time there, trying to figure out what to do with this thing, so I guess we're just going to see what it has on here. I thought this was pretty convenient. It already has this little nozzle on here, but I don't think it's designed to be used with a very high pressure. Now, I don't need a very high pressure, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use it like this. Yep, this looks a lot better. It's kind of grassy now, but yeah, that's definitely much nicer. Let me compare it to this one. Here's the back grill. Here's the front grill. So, I am going to set this off to the side, then we'll move on to the blades. The blades look a lot better. Just took a little bit of a wash. And we're good to go. Let's do the rear grill now. Alright, I hope I'm in frame here. There's the rear grill, as you can see. Now it looks a heck of a lot better. Alright, now, in terms of these other parts. If you want to, go ahead. I guess I will. Basically I'll just do the same thing with these, so you already know what that looks like. So I'm just going to do that, and then we'll put the fan back together. Here are all the pieces. Nice and clean. I don't know where one of them went. Yeah. Seems I lost one of them actually, but now, oh here it is. Now, I'm just going to let them sit out here and dry for a little bit before I put them back together. After all, you're dealing with an electronic that plugs into the wall, and those don't get along with water very well, so I'm just going to let them sit out here and dry a little bit. It's still sunny. They are calling for rain later, so won't let them sit out for long, but actually I could just use a towel. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. I'll just use a towel and clean them up. Okay, so I'm basically done drying, but one thing I'm going to do with these parts, like these little plastic parts here, as well as the front grill, I'm just going to hit these little hard to get spots. Sorry, there's this weird bug flying around. With compressed air, just to get the water out. I'm also going to do that in here, because that's pretty hard to get to with a towel. I might even do that with the blades too, because they had that there, so. Alright. I don't think I'll need to do it with the rear grill. Okay, now it's time to put the fan back together. So, as I'm sure you'd imagine, it's just the reverse process, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. Because why not? So I dried off the pieces the best I could. They're not perfect, but I'd say it's probably okay to put it back together. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take, just making sure it's completely dry. We're going to take the rear grill, alright, and if you look on along the tabs, you'll see there's one tab. I might need to hold it up here. See that one right there? It looks kind of different than the others. That one needs to go on the bottom. If yours doesn't have something like that, then just, yeah. But put it on here, and this is keyed, actually, I guess you'd say that. So that way it will not, so that way you can put it on there correctly. And so also that way it doesn't like turn and move around when the fan's in operation. Alright, there you go. So there's the grill, the rear grill on. Now take this, one with the big hole in the middle, and screw it on. Again, remember, this one is a normal nut. It goes on, it tightens clockwise. So, here we are. Kind of hold it in place while you're screwing this in. There it is. Now don't like batten down the hatches, but give it a little snugging. But especially be careful on that, because you are, after all, dealing with, most likely you're dealing with plastic on plastic threads, but still, just be careful. Alright, now you're going to put the fan blades in. There's these little notches cut into it that line up with this little rod here, so you're just going to make sure that that goes in. There you go, it should kind of pop in place like that. Now, take this. Now this is the reverse nut, so in order to put it on, in order to tighten it, you got to screw it counterclockwise. It's designed like that, so that way, if it's screwed on normally, then when the fan is in operation, this would slowly unscrew itself. So I had to make it reverse, so that way, obviously the fan's going this way, the momentum is going to make it go counterclockwise a little bit, so therefore it just stays tightened. So yeah, I go ahead and give this a nice little snugging, but be especially careful on this one, because here you're dealing with plastic on metal threads. So I know it's stupid, but don't need to give it a huge snugging, but just give it a little snug. Alright, there's that. Now to put the front blades on, the front thing on. Now one of my other pet peeves is when I see this, is when I see that they just stuck the grill on like that and just said it's good. This should be upright. It doesn't really affect anything, but I just like the logo to be upright. And I also like to try and make the grill line up with each other, just because it looks nicer. Alright, now there's these little clips. Alright, open this clip. Alright. There. There. And there. Alright, now your fan has been reassembled. So, let's go ahead and bring it back inside. Alright, so here it is. I went ahead and let it sit here for a couple minutes just so that way I could let all the water dry out, because I'm pretty certain I might have missed a few spots of it, but I'm pretty sure it's fine now. So let's just go ahead and plug it in, see if it makes a difference. Now, I'm wondering if I might actually be able to spin up a little faster now that the dust is off of it, because as you know, dust does have a mass, and let's make sure it's turned off. Yes, it is. So, might have went ahead and given it, this cord's getting in the way of the plug. Might have went ahead and maybe improved its performance a little bit. So, let's go ahead and test this thing out, shall we? Here goes nothing. Let's turn it this way. I'm also going to turn the torque off, or not torque, the oscillation off. Start it on low. And as you can see, it is spinning. It's making a kind of rattle noise, but there you go. This is low speed, so that's why it seems to be kind of weak, but medium. And high. There it is. It's a lot quieter, I'll say that. I was wondering if maybe it was messed up or something, but no, I believe it's actually quieter. Let me turn this off. I believe it's actually a lot quieter now. You probably don't know what it sounded like before, but I can tell you, this fan is starting to get a little loud. But now that I've cleaned it, I'm pretty sure the dust was probably making some noise as it was going around, so it's a lot quieter now. But anyway, this is something you really should do as soon as you start noticing your fan is getting dirty, because we have another fan that has basically just been, we bought it and we've used it. And that's pretty much it. It's been neglected for like several years, probably over a decade, and it hasn't really been properly maintained at all. And I finally went ahead and last summer went ahead and cleaned it up. It was disgusting. Let me just say this. I don't know if you knew this or not, but dust has a smell, and especially in those large quantities, and it smelled really bad. I'm not going to explain what it smelled like. It was just beyond horrible. So you really want to make sure you get this done as soon as you notice it happening, because it is a little bit of a bonus because it seems to act as a little bit of an air filter, because it collects all the stuff, but once you get all that crap in there, eventually it's just going to start blowing out these huge chunks of dust, and nobody wants that. So it's really important that you do this. I honestly do not know why people just let their fans sit there and collect dust like that. It's really, really gross. You really do not want to do that. So go ahead and take the time, look around your house or your building or whatever. If you see a dirty fan, just clean it up, please. It is nasty. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. So there you go. The fan works. Let's try the oscillating motion out. Or not. Yeah, I guess it's oscillation. There you go. There you go. That is that. So I am not sure if this fan can be oiled, like if I can lubricate the motor and stuff. But that is something I'm going to do also eventually. I don't think it really needs it right now. It seems to be pretty much fine. That's basically it. So I'm going to go ahead and go now. Thanks for watching if you're still watching, and adios.